Captain Elaine Martinez sat in her command chair on the bridge of the merchant vessel, Boundless Horizon. Her dark hair was pulled back in a practical bun, and her brown eyes carefully studied the star map displayed on the main screen. The ship had just completed its regular trade route through the Orion arm of the galaxy, delivering industrial materials to 3 different alien worlds and picking up luxury goods for Earth in return. "Captain, we're clear of the Rigel transit zone," said Eric Daniels, her first officer. His voice was calm as always. "ETA to the next jump point is 4 hours. Elaine nodded. "Good. Tell the crew they can rotate to standard shifts." The bridge was quiet and efficient. Humans were still relatively new to the galactic community, having achieved faster-than-light travel only 30 years ago. The other species regarded them with a mixture of curiosity and caution. Earth was classified as a death world by Galactic Council standards, a planet with high gravity, extreme weather, and dangerous wildlife that produced hardy, resilient species. What confused many aliens was that despite coming from such a dangerous homeworld, human ships seemed lightly armed. The Boundless Horizon's official manifest listed only basic point defense systems, just enough to deal with small space debris. Most Deathworld species traveled in heavily armed convoys or paid for protection, but human ships often journeyed alone. Nancy Clark, the sensor officer, frowned at her screen. "Captain, I'm picking up 3 vessels at the edge of our sensor range. They've altered course to intercept us." Elaine turned in her chair. "Identification?" Nancy shook her head. "Nothing on official channels. No transponder signals." Eric moved to the sensor station and studied the readings. "Speed and formation suggest Khazir raiders, 3 Corvette-class ships. The Khazir were among the most notorious pirates in this sector. They targeted cargo vessels traveling without military escort, stealing valuable goods and sometimes taking crew members as slaves. Most species in the Galactic Council avoided this problem by paying for protection or traveling in groups, a practice the Khazir respected out of self-preservation." "Time to intercept?" Elaine asked, her voice still calm. 20 minutes, Captain," Nancy replied. Elaine pressed a button on her chair. "All hands, this is the captain. We have potential hostiles approaching. Initiate Protocol Trojan. This is not a drill. I repeat, initiate Protocol Trojan." Throughout the ship, the atmosphere changed immediately. Crew members moved with practiced efficiency as hidden compartments began to unlock. What had appeared to be solid bulkheads slid aside to reveal weapon stations and control panels. In the cargo hold, large containers shifted to expose missile tubes and energy weapon emplacements. On the bridge, panels that had seemed decorative opened to display advanced tactical systems. The friendly merchant ship was transforming into something very different. "All sections, report readiness," Elaine ordered. The communications officer, Diana Hughes, relayed responses from around the ship. "Engineering reports ready. Weapons control ready. Shield generators online. Marine detachment armed and in position." Elaine nodded. "Open a secure channel to Earth Command. Priority Alpha." Diana worked her controls. "Channel open, Captain." "Earth Command, this is Captain Martinez of the Boundless Horizon. We have 3 suspected Khazir vessels on intercept course. We are initiating Protocol Trojan. Request you monitor and record." A gruff voice responded immediately. "Confirmed. Boundless Horizon. We have your position and are monitoring. Support vessels can reach you in 4 hours if needed." "Acknowledged, Command. We'll handle this." Martinez out. Eric returned to his station. "The raiders are maintaining course. They'll be in weapons range in 15 minutes. "Let them come," Elaine said. "Maintain commercial profile until my order." Down in weapons control, Lieutenant Paul Winters supervised his team as they prepared systems that, according to the ship's manifest, didn't exist. The Khazir were about to learn an important lesson about human ships. "All weapons green, Captain," Paul reported through the comm. "Point defense grid active. Missile tubes uncovered but doors still closed. Energy signatures masked." In the engine room, Chief Engineer Gregory Powell monitored the ship's power grid as it rerouted energy to previously hidden systems. The ship's official power output readings remained unchanged to any outside observers. "Power systems reconfigured, Captain," he reported. Reactors at 70% but showing normal commercial levels externally. Security Chief Alan Rodriguez checked in from the armory where his Marines prepared. Security teams in position at all potential boarding points. We're ready to repel or board as needed. The Khazir ships drew closer, no doubt anticipating an easy target. On their vessels, scanners would show the boundless horizon as a standard merchant ship with minimal defensive capabilities, exactly what would be expected of a species still finding its way among the stars. They're preparing to surround us, Nancy reported. Standard pirate formation, one vessel ahead, two coming in from the sides. Elaine sat straight in her chair. Open a channel when they hail us. Everyone remember, we play this exactly by the book. The minutes ticked by as the pirate vessels approached. The bridge crew of the boundless horizon remained calm, their training evident in their steady hands and focused expressions. Incoming transmission, Diana announced. On screen, Elaine ordered. The main view screen changed to show an alien with dark green scales and four eyes arranged in a diamond pattern. His mandibles clicked as he spoke, the ship's universal translator converting his words to English. Human vessel, this is Fleet Commander Zikrath of the Free Khazir Marauders. Your ship has entered our territory. Power down your engines and prepare to be boarded. Resist, and we will destroy you. Elaine stood from her chair, her face showing only mild concern, exactly what would be expected from a merchant captain facing pirates for the first time. This is Captain Elaine Martinez of the Earth merchant vessel Boundless Horizon. According to Galactic Council maps, we are in neutral space. Please verify your coordinates. The alien commander's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. Your coordinates are irrelevant. Your cargo is now ours. You have 5 minutes to comply or we open fire. The screen went dark. Elaine smiled slightly as she turned to her crew. Right on schedule. Battle stations, everyone. Let's show these pirates why Deathworlders never need to list their weapons on the manifest. Throughout the ship, hidden weapon ports prepared to open. The boundless horizon was about to reveal its true nature, and the Khazir pirates were about to learn a valuable lesson about underestimating humans. Fleet Commander Zikrath of the Khazir Marauders felt confident as he observed the human vessel on his main view screen. His 3 corvettes had successfully captured dozens of merchant ships in this sector. This isolated human ship would be no different. Status report, Zikrath ordered, his 4 eyes blinking in sequence. His tactical officer, a younger Khazir named Vriltok, studied the sensor readings. The human vessel shows minimal defensive systems. Just basic point defense and navigation. Shields. Curious, said Vriltok after a moment. Their kind comes from a high-gravity death world. One would expect better protection. Zikrath clicked his mandibles in amusement. Humans are new to the stars. They haven't learned proper caution. Yet their mistake will be our profit. On the command deck of his ship, the Bloodfang, Zikrath felt only contempt for the human captain and her crew. The Khazir had been raiding space lanes for centuries. They knew which ships to target and which to avoid. Species from death worlds. Typically traveled with heavy weapons or in protected convoys. But humans were different. Their ships wandered the galaxy alone with barely any weapons listed on their manifests. The 5 minutes are nearly up, said the communications officer. No response from the humans. Zikrath nodded. Position our ships for the final approach. Disable their engines first. The 3 Khazir vessels moved into attack formation. 2 ships flanked the human vessel while the Bloodfang approached from the front, their weapons powered up, targeting the Boundless Horizon's engine section. Sir, I'm detecting unusual energy fluctuations from the human ship, Vriltok suddenly announced, his voice uncertain. What kind of fluctuations? Zikrath demanded. Before Vriltok could answer, the communications officer interrupted. Commander, the human vessel is hailing us. On screen, Zikrath ordered. Captain Elaine Martinez appeared on the view screen again. Her expression had changed from concern to calm confidence. Zikrath felt a flicker of unease at the change in her demeanor. Khazir vessels, this is Captain Martinez. Your 5 minutes are up and so is our patience. You are in violation of Galactic Council trade route regulations. I am ordering you to power down your weapons and withdraw. Zikrath laughed, a harsh sound that echoed across his bridge. "You are in no position to make demands, human. Surrender now or be destroyed." Elaine smiled slightly. "I was hoping you'd say that." She looked off screen briefly. "Mr. Daniels, show them why humans don't list weapons on our manifests." The transmission ended abruptly. What did she mean by that? Zakrath wondered aloud. His question was answered as the sensor officer shouted in alarm. "Commander, the human ship is changing." On the view screen, Zakrath watched in disbelief as sections of the Boundless Horizon's hull began to shift. Panels that had appeared to be standard hull plating slid aside, revealing weapon ports. What had seemed to be cargo containers opened to expose missile tubes. The ship's energy signature suddenly spiked to levels far beyond what a merchant vessel should produce. "Impossible," Zakrath hissed. "Their manifest showed minimal defensive capabilities." "Sir," Vriltok's voice was now panicked. "I'm detecting multiple weapons locks. Their offensive capabilities far exceed anything on their manifest." Inside the Boundless Horizon, Lieutenant Paul Winters and his weapons team worked with practiced efficiency. Targeting systems locked onto all 3 pirate vessels simultaneously. "All weapon systems online and locked on targets, Captain," Paul reported to the bridge. "Hold fire until my command," Elaine responded calmly. "Let's see if they're smart enough to back down now." On the bridge, Eric Daniels monitored the tactical display. "The pirates are maintaining position, Captain. They appear to be confused by our transformation." Elaine nodded. "Open a channel." Diana Hughes worked her controls. "Channel open." "Commander Zakrath," Elaine said, her voice firm and confident. "As you can now see, we are not the easy target you believed us to be. I am giving you one final opportunity to withdraw. Power down your weapons and leave this sector immediately." On the pirate flagship, Zakrath stared at the human captain with a mixture of shock and growing fear. What had appeared to be a defenseless merchant ship now bristled with advanced weaponry. His ships were completely outgunned. "How is this possible?" he demanded. "Your ship's manifest—" "Our manifest lists what we choose to disclose," Elaine interrupted. "Humans prefer to avoid conflict when possible, but we are always prepared for it. You have 30 seconds to begin your withdrawal." Zakrath turned to his tactical officer. "Can we defeat them?" Vriltok's scales had paled with fear. "Negative, Commander. Their weapons outclass ours significantly, and I'm detecting what appear to be fighter launch bays opening along their hull." Inside the Boundless Horizon, Security Chief Alan Rodriguez prepared his boarding teams. His Marines checked their weapons and armor one final time. "Marines ready?" "Captain," Alan reported. "We can launch on your order." Chief Engineer Gregory Powell monitored the ship's power grid, ensuring all systems had the energy they needed. "Engines at full combat power, Captain. Shields at maximum." On the bridge, Nancy Clark kept a close eye on her sensor readings. "The pirates are scanning us heavily, trying to get a better read on our capabilities." Elaine smiled. "Let them look. Mr. Daniels, deploy the fighter screen. Let's give them something else to think about." Eric nodded and pressed a control on his panel. Along the sides of the Boundless Horizon, small hangar doors opened to reveal a dozen sleek fighter craft. They launched smoothly, forming a defensive perimeter around the larger ship. On the Bloodfangs, Krath watched the fighters deploy with growing dread. "They have support craft as well?" "This cannot be." "Sir, we have confirmation from the database," a junior officer reported. "This ship is registered as the Earth merchant vessel Boundless Horizon. Its official manifest lists only basic defensive systems. There is no record of these weapons or fighters." Zakrath slammed his clawed hand against his command chair. "They deceived the entire Galactic Council." "Commander," Vriltok said urgently, "their 20 seconds are nearly up. What are your orders?" Inside the Boundless Horizon, the crew waited tensely as the deadline approached. The weapons teams kept their fingers steady above their controls. The fighter pilots circled slowly, their craft's weapons locked on the pirate vessels. 10 seconds. Eric announced on the bridge. Elaine stood from her chair. "Target their engines. If they don't start moving away in 10 seconds, disable their propulsion systems. Targeting solutions locked, Paul confirmed from weapons control. On the Bloodfang, Zekrath faced the most difficult decision of his career. Fight and certainly be destroyed, or retreat and lose face among his crew and fellow raiders. "Commander," Vriltuk urged, "we must withdraw. We cannot win this fight." With only moments left before the human deadline expired, Zekrath made his choice. "All ships," he ordered through clenched teeth, "power down weapons and prepare to withdraw." As the Khazir vessels began powering down their weapons, Elaine Martinez allowed herself a small smile of satisfaction. Another group of pirates had just learned why Deathworlder ships never showed their weapons on the manifest. But the real lesson was only beginning. Zekrath watched with growing anger as his 3 ships began to retreat from the human vessel. His reputation would suffer greatly after this encounter. The Khazir were feared throughout this sector, and now they were fleeing from a single merchant. "Ship, status report," he demanded. Vriltok checked his instruments. "All 3 ships powering down weapons as ordered. We are increasing distance from the human vessel." And the humans. They maintained their combat stance, weapons still locked on our engines. Zekrath's mandibles clicked in frustration. He could not accept this defeat. Generations of Khazir raiders had built their reputation on never backing down. If word spread that they had been intimidated by a single human ship, other potential targets would become bolder. "New orders," Zekrath announced. "Maintain our withdrawal for 3 more minutes. Then on my signal all ships will perform an attack pattern dagger strike. Target their bridge and weapons first." His officers exchanged nervous glances. "Commander," Vriltok said carefully, "their weapons vastly outclass ours. This is unwise." "They won't expect us to attack after beginning withdrawal," Zekrath insisted. "The element of surprise will give us the advantage. Prepare all weapons." On board the Boundless Horizon, Nancy Clark monitored her sensor readings closely. "Captain, the pirate vessels are withdrawing as ordered," she reported. "Current speed suggests they'll be out of weapons range in 15 minutes. Elaine nodded, but didn't relax. "Maintain combat readiness. I don't trust them to leave peacefully." Eric Daniels studied the tactical display with a frown. "Something doesn't feel right. The lead ship's power signature is fluctuating strangely." "Explain," Elaine said. "They're powering down weapons as promised, but their reactor output remains at combat levels. They should be redirecting power to engines for a faster retreat." Elaine considered this information. During her 8 years as captain, she had encountered pirates twice before. Neither encounter had ended with such an easy withdrawal. "Diana, send a message to our fighter squadron. Tell them to maintain vigilance and be prepared for sudden hostile action." "Yes, Captain," Diana responded. In the weapons control room, Paul Winters had similar suspicions. "Captain, request permission to maintain weapons lock on all 3 vessels." "Granted," Elaine replied. "Trust your instincts, Lieutenant." On the HFY Khazir flagship, Zekrath watched the countdown timer. 2 minutes until their surprise attack. He had studied human ships before. Their official records showed no special combat capabilities. Even now, with their weapons revealed, there must be limitations. No ship could maintain all those systems at full power for long. 1 minute until attack, his tactical officer announced quietly. "All ships, prepare to execute attack pattern," Zekrath ordered. "Maximum power to forward shields when we turn. Aboard." The Boundless Horizon, Nancy suddenly straightened in her chair. Captain Power Surge detected in all 3 pirate vessels. They're redirecting energy to their shields and weapons. "They're going to attack," Eric said, already moving to the tactical station. Elaine didn't hesitate. "All hands, prepare for combat. Fighters, intercept pattern Delta. Paul, target their weapon systems only. I want to disable, not destroy." Throughout the ship, the crew responded immediately. The human fighters accelerated toward the pirate vessels. Inside the Boundless Horizon, weapon systems that had been on standby came to full power. On the Bloodfang, Zekrath watched the timer reach 0. "Now, all ships attack!" The 3 Khazir vessels spun around with surprising speed, their engines flaring as they charged back toward the human ship. Their weapons powered up, targeting the Boundless Horizon's bridge and main weapon ports. But the humans were ready. "They're making their move," Nancy reported calmly. "All 3 ships on attack vector." "Fire," Elaine ordered simply. The Boundless Horizon's response was immediate and devastating. Precisely targeted energy beams struck the lead Khazir ship's main weapon emplacements. The pirate vessel shuddered as explosions rippled across its hull. At the same time, the human fighters engaged the flanking pirate ships. Small but powerful missiles launched from the fighters, striking the corvette's engine sections with surgical precision. On the Bloodfang's bridge, systems sparked and failed as the humans' attack overwhelmed their shields. "Weapons offline," Vriltok shouted over the blaring alarms. "Main power dropping." "Impossible," Zekrath growled. "Return fire with secondary weapons." "Sir, both escort ships report critical damage to propulsion systems. They're dead in space." Inside the Boundless Horizon, Paul Winters reported from weapons control. "Direct hits on all targets, Captain. Their primary weapons and engines are disabled." Elaine nodded with satisfaction. "Cease fire. Diana, open a channel to the lead ship." On the crippled Bloodfang, Zakrath stared in disbelief at his damaged ship. The humans had not only anticipated their surprise attack, but had disabled all 3 vessels with a single coordinated strike. Such precision spoke of military training far beyond what merchant crews should possess. "Commander, the humans are hailing us again," his communications officer reported. "On screen," Zakrath said grimly. Captain Martinez's face appeared once more. Her expression was stern but not angry. "That was a foolish decision, Commander," she said. "You've now lost your ships as well as your dignity." Zakrath's pride was wounded, but he was not stupid. "What happens now, human? Will you destroy us?" "That's not our way," Elaine replied. "But you've violated multiple Galactic Council laws. Your ships are now impounded, and your crews will be detained until Council authorities arrive." "You have no authority to—" "All human merchant vessels have authority to enforce Council law when violations occur," Elaine interrupted. "It's in Section 47 of the trade agreements your people signed. Perhaps you should have read them more carefully." Elaine turned to someone off-screen. "Mr. Rodriguez, prepare boarding parties, secure all 3 vessels, and detain their crews." On the bridge of the Boundless Horizon, Eric approached Elaine after the transmission ended. "Captain, we should inform Earth Command of the situation." "Already done," Elaine replied. "A Council enforcement vessel will rendezvous with us in 10 hours. Until then, we'll secure the pirates and their ships." Nancy looked up from her console. "Captain, I'm detecting unusual readings from the lead pirate ship. They appear to be activating some kind of secondary system." "Specify," Elaine ordered. "Unknown, but it's drawing significant power from their auxiliary generators. Paul, target that power source. Diana, warn the boarding teams." On the Bloodfang, Zekrath activated the emergency transponder, a device that would alert other Khazir vessels in the sector. If he could delay the humans long enough, reinforcements might arrive. "All hands prepare to repel boarders," he ordered. "We will not surrender to humans." Aboard the Boundless Horizon, Security Chief Alan Rodriguez led his Marine teams to the airlocks. His people wore combat armor and carried weapons designed for ship-to-ship operations. "Captain, boarding teams ready," he reported. "We'll secure the vessels one at a time, starting with the lead ship." "Proceed with caution," Elaine warned. "Their captain strikes me as the desperate type. Be prepared for resistance." As the human boarding shuttles approached the crippled pirate vessels, the true capabilities of Deathworlders were about to be demonstrated once again. The Khazir were skilled raiders, but they had never faced humans in direct combat. The real lesson was about to begin, and Zekrath would soon learn that the weapons absent from the human manifest were only the first of many surprises. Security Chief Alan Rodriguez led his boarding team toward the airlock of the Khazir flagship. His 12 Marines moved with practiced efficiency, their movements betraying years of training. Each wore lightweight combat armor that was far more advanced than anything listed in Earth's technology registry with the Galactic Council. "Remember, we want prisoners, not casualties," Alan reminded his team. "Stun settings only unless your life is in immediate danger." The boarding shuttle docked with the damaged pirate vessel with a metallic clang. The team positioned themselves on either side of the airlock door, weapons ready. Breaching in 3, 2, 1. The door slid open, and the Marines moved in with smooth, coordinated movements. They encountered resistance immediately. 4 Khazir pirates waited with weapons drawn, firing as soon as the airlock opened. The Marines responded with quick, precise shots. Their weapons fired blue energy pulses that dropped the aliens without killing them. 2 Marines took hits, but their armor absorbed the energy with minimal damage. "Advance to the bridge," Alan ordered. "Team 2, secure the engine room." On the bridge of the boundless horizon, Captain Elaine monitored the boarding operation through the tactical display. "Status report?" she asked. Eric studied the incoming data from the boarding teams. "Minor resistance on the lead ship. Our teams are advancing steadily, no casualties reported." "And the emergency signal that ship was broadcasting?" Nancy checked her readings. "We've managed to jam it, Captain, but some of the signal may have gotten through before we could block it completely." Elaine frowned. "Diana, contact Earth Command, inform them that the pirates may have called for reinforcements. Request they expedite the Council enforcement vessel." "Yes, Captain," Diana replied, moving to her communication station. Inside the Khazir flagship, Alan's team fought their way toward the bridge. The narrow corridors of the alien vessel worked against the defenders. The human Marines moved with a coordination that surprised the pirates, using tactics developed over centuries of warfare on Earth. "We're approaching the bridge," Alan reported back to the boundless horizon, "encountering moderate resistance." On the bridge of the Bloodfang, Zekrath prepared for his last stand. He had ordered his crew to destroy sensitive data and prepare for close combat. If he was going to be captured, he would make the humans pay dearly for it. "How many are there?" he asked his security officer. "Approximately 12 humans in the first wave," came the reply. "They're using stun weapons. They want prisoners." Skrath's mandibles clicked in contempt. "Weakness. If our positions were reversed, we would show no such mercy." Outside the bridge, Alan's team reached the sealed door. One of his Marines, Olivia Jenkins, placed small devices around the door frame. "Breaching charges set," she reported. "Ready on your mark." Alan nodded. "Detonate." The charges exploded with precise force, disabling the door's locking mechanism without causing catastrophic damage. The door slid partially open, and the Marines tossed in stun grenades before it was fully retracted. Bright flashes filled the bridge, followed by the Marines' swift entry. Most of the Khazir crew were incapacitated by the grenades, but Zekrath had protected himself behind a command console. He emerged firing a disruptor pistol. His first shot caught a Marine in the shoulder, spinning him around. Before he could fire again, 3 stun blasts hit him simultaneously. The pirate commander collapsed to the deck, his weapon clattering beside him. "Bridge secured," Alan reported. "Commander captured. Moving to assist Team 2 with the engine room." Back on the boundless horizon, Chief Engineer Gregory Powell studied the readings from the disabled pirate ships. "Fascinating design," he commented to his assistant. "Their power distribution system is actually quite efficient, though their weapons technology is at least a decade behind ours." "Hard to believe. They've been terrorizing this sector for so long," his assistant replied. Gregory shrugged. "Most merchant ships in this region aren't armed at all. Even with outdated technology, the Khazir would have a significant advantage." He turned his attention back to the boundless horizon systems. The brief battle had barely strained their resources. The ship's true capabilities remained far beyond what had been revealed to the pirates or to the Galactic Council. On the bridge, Elaine received updates from all 3 boarding teams. "All pirate vessels secured, Captain," Eric reported. 43 prisoners in total, including their commander. 3 of our Marines have minor injuries. No fatalities on either side. Elaine nodded with satisfaction. "Well done. Have Mr. Rodriguez begin processing the prisoners. I want them confined in the cargo bay under guard until the council ship arrives." "Captain," Nancy interrupted, "I'm detecting multiple ships entering the sector. 7 vessels approaching at high speed. Elaine turned to her sensor officer. Identification? 4 appear to be Khazir ships, similar to the ones we disabled. The other 3... Nancy paused, checking her readings. The other 3 are not, matching any profile in our database. Diana looked up from her station. Captain, we're being hailed by the lead unknown vessel. On screen, Elaine ordered. The view screen activated to show an alien unlike the Khazir. This one had pale blue skin and 4 arms. Its eyes were large and gold-colored, set in a face marked with intricate patterns. Human vessel, this is security. Administrator Relvac of the Galactic Council Enforcement Division. We received your distress call and responded. Are you in need of assistance? Elaine was momentarily surprised. The Council ship wasn't due for hours. This is Captain Elaine Martinez of the Earth vessel Boundless Horizon. We have the situation under control, Administrator. 3 Khazir. Pirate ships have been disabled and their crews detained. The alien's eyes widened slightly. By yourselves? Without assistance? That's correct, Elaine confirmed. We were prepared for such an encounter. The administrator seemed to consider this information carefully. I see. And the pirates are all alive? Yes. We used non-lethal methods to subdue them. Relvac's expression was unreadable to human eyes, but his tone conveyed surprise. Most interesting. We will dock with your vessel to transfer the prisoners. I would also like to discuss this incident in detail, Captain. After the transmission ended, Eric moved, closer to Elaine. They arrived very quickly, almost as if they were already nearby. I had the same thought, Elaine replied quietly. And those other vessels are definitely Khazir ships. It seems our pirate friends have some arrangement with certain council officials. What do we do? Eric asked. Elaine considered their options. We proceed as planned. Transfer the prisoners, but keep our guard up, and send a coded update to Earth Command. I want a record of this encounter outside of Council channels. As the Council enforcement vessel approached for docking, the crew of the Boundless Horizon prepared for yet another kind of confrontation. Their ship had proven more than a match for pirate raiders, but political complications were a different kind of battle entirely. In the ship's brig, Zekrath regained consciousness to find himself in a holding cell. His mandibles clicked in bitter amusement. He had underestimated the humans completely, and now he would pay the price, or would he? If his arrangements with Administrator Relvac still held, perhaps this defeat could be turned to his advantage after all. The game was far from over. The humans had revealed some of their secrets, but the Khazir had a few surprises of their own. The Galactic Council enforcement vessel, Justice Prevails, docked smoothly with the Boundless Horizon. A delegation of council officials led by Administrator Relvac prepared to board the human ship. Behind them, the 4 Khazir vessels maintained position at a respectful distance. On the Boundless Horizon, Captain Elaine Martinez waited at the airlock with Eric Daniels and Security Chief Alan Rodriguez. Her face showed nothing but professional courtesy, but inwardly she was cautious. The sudden appearance of council officials alongside Khazir ships suggested complications beyond a simple pirate encounter. Remember, she told her officers quietly, share only what's necessary. The council doesn't need to know all our capabilities. The airlock opened and Administrator Relvac entered with 4 security officers. The administrator's forearms were adorned with symbols of Galactic Council authority, and his gold eyes surveyed the human vessel with obvious curiosity. Captain Martinez, Relvac said, his translator converting his musical language to English. I am pleased to meet you in person. The Council appreciates your assistance in apprehending these pirates. Elaine nodded politely. We were simply defending ourselves, Administrator. The Khazir attacked us without provocation. Of course, Relvac replied smoothly. I would like to inspect the prisoners and take statements from your crew about the incident. Certainly. Chief Rodriguez will escort you to the holding area. As they walked through the corridors of the Boundless Horizon, Relvac paid careful attention to the ship's layout and visible systems. It was clear that many sections had been recently reconfigured from combat status back to merchant vessel appearance. Fascinating ship, the administrator commented. Not what one would expect from a standard merchant vessel. Earth believes in being prepared, Elaine replied simply. Our history has taught us the value of self-sufficiency. They reached the cargo bay where the Khazir prisoners were held under guard. Zakrath sat apart from his crew, his mandibles moving slowly as he watched the administrator approach. Commander Zakrath, Relvok said, his tone neutral. You have violated council law again. This time there will be consequences. Zakrath's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a gesture that Elaine recognized as the Khazir equivalent of amusement. The Imwem, humans attacked us, Zakrath claimed. We were merely defending our territory. Elaine stepped forward. That's a lie. We have sensor logs and communications records proving they threatened us and then attacked after pretending to withdraw. Relvok held up one of his 4 hands. I will review all evidence before making judgments. Now, Captain, I would like to speak with Commander Zakrath privately. Elaine hesitated but nodded to the guards. You can use the conference room adjacent to the cargo bay. Chief Rodriguez will escort you. After the administrator and pirate commander left with their guards, Eric moved closer to Elaine. They know each other, he whispered. Did you see how they looked at each other? I saw, Elaine confirmed. Diana, are you monitoring the conference room? Diana's voice came through Elaine's communicator. Yes, Captain. They're speaking in a language the translator can't identify, likely a private code. Record everything, we'll sort it out later. In the conference room, Relvok and Zakrath spoke quickly in a dialect known only to certain council officials and their Khazir associates. You fool, Relvok hissed. You attacked a human vessel? We specifically warned all of you to avoid Earth ships. Their manifest showed minimal weapons, Zakrath defended himself. How were we to know they had hidden capabilities? That's exactly why you were told to avoid them. The Council has suspected for years that human ships carry undeclared weapons. Now you forced them to reveal some of their technology. On the bridge, Nancy monitored the ships outside. Captain, the Khazir vessels are repositioning. They're moving to surround us. Elaine frowned. Tactical assessment? If they're hostile, we can handle them, Eric replied. But engaging Council vessels would create a diplomatic incident. Agreed. Let's see what they're planning before we react. In the conference room, Relvok was making a decision. We'll proceed as follows. I'll take custody of you and your crew as planned. The Council vessels will escort the human ship to the nearest starbase for inspection. We need to understand exactly what technology they're concealing. And my ships? Zakrath asked. Your remaining vessels will withdraw and await further instructions. The Council cannot officially condone your activities, but we value the information you provide about ship movements in this sector, unknown to them. Every word was being recorded by the Boundless Horizon's advanced surveillance systems not listed on any manifest. Back on the bridge, Elaine listened to the translation with growing concern. So the Council is using pirates as unofficial intelligence gatherers, she said, and now they want to inspect our ship for hidden technology. That would violate multiple provisions of our treaty with the Galactic Council, Eric noted. We're only required to disclose technology we use in Council space, not our full capabilities. Elaine made her decision. Diana, contact Earth Command immediately. Priority Alpha. Send them everything we've recorded. Then prepare a message to Administrator Relvok. When Relvok returned to the cargo bay, his expression was confident. Captain Martinez, the Council has decided that your ship must undergo inspection at Starbase 47. The Khazir prisoners will come with us on the Justice Prevails. Elaine smiled politely. I'm afraid that won't be possible, Administrator. Under Section 12 of the Earth Council Treaty, we're only required to submit to inspections if we've violated Council law. We were the victims here, not the aggressors. Relvok's golden eyes narrowed. The Council has authority to. Furthermore, Elaine continued, we've just transmitted evidence to Earth Command showing your private conversation with Commander Zakrath. Your arrangement with the pirates violates at least 7 Council regulations. The Administrator's blue skin paled visibly. You were spying on an official Council meeting? We were ensuring the safety of our ship and crew, Elaine countered. Now you have 2 options. You can take custody of the pirates as originally planned, and we'll all continue on our way. Or we can all proceed to Starbase 47, where representatives from Earth will be waiting to file formal complaints about council officials collaborating with known pirates. The standoff lasted several tense moments before Relvak's shoulders slumped slightly. The prisoners will be transferred as planned, he said stiffly. But the council will not forget this, Captain. Nor will Earth, Elaine replied evenly. After the administrator returned to his ship with the prisoners, the boundless horizon prepared to resume its journey. The Khazir vessels withdrew, followed by the council ships. On the bridge, the crew celebrated their victory with quiet professionalism. Do you think they'll come after us again? Eric asked. Elaine shook her head. Not soon. Word will spread about what happened here. Both the pirates and the council have learned an important lesson today. About why Deathworlder ships never show their weapons on the manifest, Diana asked with a smile. That's part of it, Elaine replied. But the bigger lesson is about humanity itself. We prepare for the worst while hoping for the best. We prefer peace but are always ready for conflict, and we always have contingency plans. As the boundless horizon jumped to faster than light speed, continuing its journey to Earth, reports of the encounter were already spreading throughout the sector. Merchant ships from other species began requesting human escorts for dangerous routes. Pirates began avoiding human vessels entirely, and in the secure archives of the Galactic Council, humanity's threat assessment was quietly upgraded. The official record still showed human ships with minimal defenses, but a confidential addendum now warned, human vessels should be assumed to carry undisclosed defensive and offensive capabilities. Approach with extreme caution. The manifest hadn't changed, but the galaxy's understanding of humanity had. Sometimes what doesn't appear on the official record speaks louder than what does. In the quiet of her private quarters, Captain Elaine Martinez recorded her final log entry about the incident. She ended with a quote from an ancient Earth philosopher, "Speak softly and carry a big stick." Humanity had been speaking softly since joining the galactic community. Today they had shown just a glimpse of the stick.